Show you the AND logic gate with the Arduino. I don't actually own you can see I'll click it here. I don't own an AND gate, so I can't show you the physical version of this, but I'll do it on this virtual demo that we can use in TinkerCAD. So I'm going to run the simulation with everything working and just talk through it, and then I'll try to build it with you. I want to show you the working model first because it was a bit tricky and I made mistakes along the way, so just in case. So to start a simulation, you go to the top right corner and you hit start simulation. So it plugs in the Arduino. You'll see the light is on in the Arduino and the simulator is running. So I have my 5-volt giving power. So power comes to this positive on the breadboard and it's bringing electricity all the way down there. For this AND gate to work, what we need is power to this one here. I think it's usually called the VCC on the integrated circuit. So I need power to it, and I also need it to be grounded. So you'll notice the red wires, I've colored the red ones at least to where power is going into the breadboard. So I also have power coming all the way through here, which in retrospect, I do not need. I don't know I have that one actually. So this is the key one here. I have power coming across all here, and when we go to build it after, I won't build that, which is good. And then when I have power, it's coming down to this button. Now, if you take a look, there's two terminals on the button. There's a 1 and a 2. In order for it to work properly as a button, you have to have power come to either terminal 1 or 2, and then you have to have it come out the opposite. So I have it going into 2, and then I have electricity coming out of 1. If I put it going out of 2 and going into 2, it would flow right through the button, right into our integrated AND logic gate here. So I have it, you'll see electricity going to 2, then to 1, and in the opposite, I have it going to 1 and coming out of 2. The green wires are just where the electricity is going to flow. This is input 1 on the AND gate and input 2. And in order for this logic gate to work, there has to be electricity, or both of these have to be essentially on. So input A and B have to be on in order for output 1 to produce electricity down here. For electricity to come down here, you'll notice I have it come in to where the LED anode is. So I need electricity coming in, and then out the cathode with my 200, let's click it, 220 ohms resistor. I was going to say amps. Ohms resistor into the ground again. Okay, so I've ran through it. The simulation is running right now. You'll notice if I push the button, it goes up and down. Hold on, let's get away. There we go. Goes down and up. You can kind of see the shadow move. In this program, you actually have to hold shift. So if I click shift, it'll hold the button down for me. And then when I click the other button, there we go. And the light has turned on. And when I let go of shift and click the button, it comes off. One is on and one is off. Great. Let's try to build this together. So if that's all you needed to see, that's great. I'm going to actually go through the building process. So this will take a little bit more time. So I guess that was 2 minutes of seeing the simulation. Now let's actually build one of these. So I'm just going to go to TinkerCAD and start a brand new one. It'll take a second to load. And you don't have to use the Arduino. I just want to do it because it did have a 5-volt coming out, but I could use a 5-volt battery. I'm sure there's one in there. So let's actually build this together. It's going to give me a funky name for this project, this circuit project. So I'm going to scroll down, and I like the breadboard. It helps me. I'm going to try to build it the exact same way I did before. There we go. Mine's lagging a little. I apologize. You can really hear the... Hey, there we go. Okay, so I have my breadboard and my Arduino here. I did need... Oh, I have 2 Arduinos. Let me get rid of that. Sorry, when it lags, I get impatient, and I just start clicking away. Okay, I do need a button. And I do need another button. So I'm going to take the 2 buttons out for this project. I did need a resistor, so I'm going to pull that out. I need an LED light. And buttons. And I do need my AND gate. I'm only on their basic components. Let's go to all. So we got, look, they have a quad AND gate, I think they call it. I'll have to scroll down a little to find it. Integrated circuits, perfect. is it? Let me make sure I didn't skip it. Here we go, logic gate, sorry. AND gate, there we go, AND gate. So this is our AND gate, we have a quad AND gate. So this is key here, this is our logic gate. I'm gonna put that as one of our tools. Now, through the middle of this breadboard, electricity doesn't pass vertically. You'll notice I put my cursor here. It only shows you these vertical spots that it goes, and then you have to come up here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna place my logic gate right there in between the two so that I can have electricity come in and then like come out different inputs and outputs. I'm also gonna do the same with the buttons. There we go. They're gonna span that. Well, and I guess I'm building this different from how I had it before. I guess I'll put the light over on this side. Okay, so we do need electricity. So I'm gonna draw a wire from the 5-volt into the positive of the breadboard. And I'm gonna make that wire red, just so we know that that's electricity coming in. I do have to make sure, and I'll put the cursor over it, you see where it says power? I have to make sure electricity is going to the logic gate. There we go, let's make that, oh, sorry. There we go, we'll make that one red. And I do also have to make sure that there's a ground. You'll notice that this is the ground of the logic gate, so I need a wire. I need to ground that wire, so I'm going to put it to the negative of the breadboard. And from that negative breadboard, I actually need that to go to the ground of the Arduino. And I'm going to make both of those black, just so, there it is at the top. Sorry that my computer's lagging a little on this one. It's a bit slower than I hoped. Okay, so we have the logic gate. This has power to it now. The next thing I need is power to the buttons. So like I said, I need to make sure it goes into one of the terminals. So you'll notice this is terminal B, which means I need it to come out of terminal, 1B, and that means B is the top, A is the bottom, and 1 is the left, and 2 is the right. But I need to go in terminal 1 and come out terminal 2. Otherwise, it'll just flow from terminal 1B to 1A. It'll flow without me pushing the button. The button is what allows the electricity to flow from 1 to the number 2. You also notice that I have input 1 and 2, and this is the output for it. So the output's pretty important. This is what we want to actually have the light run off of. So actually I can set that up right now. From my output, I need electricity to flow from that output into the anode and then out the cathode. I'm going to put my resistor there, 120. There we go. So we have our resistor for our light. I'm going to color this one purple just like I did in the last one, just to show that purple is where the 2 logic gates come in. This is where the electricity is coming out of the output. Okay. This one will stay red because it's technically electricity in. And I'm going to do the opposite with this one. I'm going to have electricity flow into terminal 2B. Did I make 2 of those? There you go. And I want it to flow out of 1A, just to show the difference between the 2 buttons. Okay, so this one was flowing into 1. I need it to come out of 2. So it's going to go there, and I'll have that go into input 1B. And we'll keep that green. And it needs to go into 2. It needs to come out of 1. And it needs to go into 1A. Okay, so I'll have the 2 green as the inputs for the buttons. Okay, so I think I built it right. I always get the cathode and anode mixed up, but I'm pretty sure the cathode is the where we need the electricity to flow out of. The flow should work. We're going to electricity into the positive. It comes down here. It powers our logic gate, and it's grounded. That's great. We also have electricity coming to the button, to both buttons. We click the buttons. The electricity goes to input 1A, and electricity flows to input 1B. And then it comes out of the output to our purple wire, which then flows into the light and out the resistor into the ground. Let's see if that actually works. Okay, so it's running. There we go. That was an odd start. I'm going to hold shift and click button 1 and button 2. Yay, and it worked. Perfect. So the light turned on, and when I click one off, that means only one is on. Okay, and to show it's an AND gate, that means both have to be on. So if I click one, nothing happens. I click the other, nothing happens. When they're both off, nothing happens, but if we click both at the same time, that indicates an AND gate, and electricity flows out the output into the light, the LED light, and we're done.